Green Door Gourmet. Green Door Gourmet has a bunch of recipes, and there are some recipes for apples, I'm just going to say, and I've already known they're for sweet and savory and all sorts of stuff in between. But I'm confused about apples.
Don't be confused. Let me help you.
You going to help me? Okay, tell me. Tell me.
All right, so there are a number of different varieties of apples that are traditional southern apple varieties. And we've got some of the most well-known ones, from having our traditional Granny Smith, which is the best cooking apple. It's a firm apple. It doesn't lose its shape when you're cooking. It will hold as a slice. It's not quite as sweet, so you can put some sugar with it. You didn't become overly sweet for that. So your Granny Smith.
And they're not as much, I don't love a Granny Smith to just pick up and bite into, because they're a little sour. There's your sour apple, but they're perfect for baking. I love it.
And then we're moving on down. We have the traditional eating apple, a gala.
They're my favorite. They're my favorite. I love a gala apple.
And you know, the kids always gravitate toward a red apple. It's just great. If you can give a kid a healthy snack, I'm all for it. So we love these. When you see the apples that still have the leaves attached, then you know that it is local and it is a good fresh apple.
So you have local apples.
Yes, all these are local. Every single one of these is a local apple.
Who knew? Okay, the gala apples too are really great dipped in peanut butter. That's another that has your protein in it for your kids that want a snack and they don't like a lot of things. They like PBJ. This is a nice alternative to the PBJ.
Absolutely, save that bread. All of these apples also go deliciously along with sparkling wine and a little bit of brie. And so with Amber Falls, they do a nice sparkling, and it's delicious with cheese and apple and brie. It goes so nice with that. It has a little green apple essence to it.
For the adults, not for the kids.
No,
I'm just kidding.
That does not go in the sippy cup for the kids. All right, then we have Rome Beauty. This is another really good eating apple, but because it's kind of variegated and how it looks, some people are a little afraid of it. They're like, will it not ripen all the way? No, it's supposed to have the molting or the stripe to it. And then we have Mutsu.
I've never heard of a Mutsu apple.
So Mutsu was a hybrid between a Golden Delicious and a Granny Smith. It was first started in Japan, and it is a fantastic apple. If you cannot find a Granny Smith, and you want one that's a little bit nicer texture for eating, but still has some tartness to it, Mutsu is the way to go.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
We both like dogs, right? So
yeah.
You'll remember it. It's a Mutsu.
I love it. A Mutsu apple, yes.
Old-fashioned variety, the wine sap. This is the best applesauce apple, in my opinion. They're a good cooking apple, but they do kind of fall apart a little bit more than, say, the Granny Smith would. It has a delicious flavor. Wine sap is your applesauce or your dried apple for making a stack cake or something like that. You can use your dried apple for that. And then
do you use an air fryer to dry apples or a dehydrator?
You can use a dehydrator. You can use just about anything. Growing up, old screen door up on cinder blocks with another screen door on top of it. Lay out all your apples when it wasn't going to rain. Dry your apples.
I love it. I always say, you can get it for free right now on Facebook Marketplace. I'm just saying, if people are getting rid of old screen doors, you can click them off real good. And then
no rust, but other than
that's it. Who knew? A do-it-yourself dehydrator. I love it.
If you have a gas oven, your pilot light in your oven will keep your oven at about 110. If you put these on a sheet pan and don't have any liquid at all in there, leave them overnight, maybe overnight into the next morning. A lot of times you'll come out with a pretty good dried apple just from leaving it in the overnight gas oven without turning it on, just with the pilot light.
I love it.
I dehydrate peppers that way a lot.
See, that's so important, to be able to make food last a little bit longer, because it won't always be apple season in Tennessee.
No.
So, but saving them as a dried apple, it's a great snack. You can cook with it. Oh, I love it. And what about these?
And then this is the John Gold, which is also another, as a good cooking apple. Again, not as firm as the Mutsu, which is not as firm as the Granny Smith, but a lot of people like to use this as a cooking apple. It's my favorite salad apple. because it's sweet and it's crunchy and it holds up really nice to that. So I don't have to have a super sweet dressing for that particular thing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty color. It shows up nice in a salad that already has something green and red leaves of the lettuce in that. So it's
I love it. I just had a Waldorf salad the other day with my apples and walnuts. It is walnut season as well, so got my apples, my walnuts, and I used some rotisserie chicken and some spinach and some dark leaves. Oh my lordy, it was so good. A little balsamic vinaigrette worked really great with that.
Oh yes, and just don't make it quite as sweet as you would if you were using, say, another kind of apple. You're going to let this be the sweet that would come out in that.
So delicious, whether you're cooking them, having them in a salad, or I love the wine and cheese plate this time of year. That's also really good before a holiday meal to have a wine and cheese plate set up.
Or after, when you're like, I know I want dessert, but I had lunch at 1 o'clock, and so I'm going to have dessert as my supper at about 5:30, but I want just a little something sweet. So I always try to have a little cheese plate out with some fresh fruit, and let that be my dessert course number 1.
I
Before
love it.
the dessert course number 2, 3, or 5 may happen later on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, when you're getting ready for holidays, don't forget the locally grown and locally sourced apples, all found at Green Door Gourmet. We'll be back after we hear a little bit about our friends at Amber Falls Winery.
Ever one-of-a-kind wines in a special place naturally made for relaxation. Amber Falls Winery and Cellars. Descend into our underground cellar and taste award-winning wines. Cajun Best is one of our most intriguing creations. Real Cajun spices are used to give this sweet red blend its distinctive flavor. Get away to where good times and good wines come naturally. Amber Falls Winery and Cellars, where a great start leads to a great finish.
Any design that the Nashville Zoo does, first and foremost, we sit down as a group and decide we're going to make it the absolute best we can within our resources. And I think because we have so much internal talent here, that we're able to build some of the best exhibits in the country.
We always try and find something unique here at the Nashville Zoo to offer the community. We're always looking for something that is a little bit different, an experience that maybe they wouldn't get anywhere else. When you come to the zoo, we hope that you forget that you are in the Nashville city. We hope that you feel like you've entered another world.
I think when people hear Chinese lantern, they don't fully understand what that means. As did I. I didn't know what it meant.
We wanted something unique. And so we were approached by Zigong Lantern Company to do this lantern event. And we said, if we're going to do it, we want it to be the largest in the country. We want it to be something that is bigger, bolder, better than anything anybody else has done.
And they said, if you really want to see what it's about, you should come to Zigong, China, which has the largest Chinese Lantern Festival in the world. And so I did. So I took a week off in March and I went there and I was blown away. Over 3 million people traveled to Zigong to see this. Some of these lanterns are hundreds of feet long, and 30 and 40 and 50 feet tall. I was overwhelmed by the magnitude of this, by the intricacy, by the artwork, by the culture. It's deeply embedded into the Chinese culture. So I came back and met with my team and said, this is it.
Illumination is a unique holiday event where we are lighting up the zoo at night with over 500 lanterns. There are many different aspects to it. So there's a holiday portion of the event, there's also traditional Chinese lanterns, and then there's the animal lanterns as well.
This is totally different, totally unique. We can tie in the Chinese culture, we can tie in our animals. The animals that they do, which is part of their culture as well, are so anatomically perfect. I was just amazed. So I think it's a great fit for us. And our goal is that this is our winter event every year.
It's time for the Nashville Holiday Handmade Market, December 10th and 11th at Music City Center. 250 vendors of some of the coolest gifts, decor, clothing, and must-have items around. Handmade and lots of one-of-a-kinds. Goodie bags and pictures with Santa. DIY workshops, a photo booth, and more. December 10th from 9 to 7, December 11th, 10 to 4. Get your tickets in advance and avoid the lines. You can even pay in advance for your pictures with Santa. Go to odellmarkets.com and click Buy Tickets. The Nashville Holiday Handmade Market at Music City Center, December 10 and 11. Brought to you by Odell Markets. It's a ho-ho-ho lot of fun.
We're here with Chef Kris McCorkle from Black Diamond Culinary. What is Black Diamond Culinary?
So Black Diamond Culinary got created about 6 years ago from an inspiration of Chef Bob Wagner in Charleston, South Carolina. He worked with my former husband, John Claude, at the Wild Boar Restaurant, if anybody knows the Wild Boar Restaurant in Nashville. It was a totally fabulous restaurant. And Bob moved to Charleston, and he did a few other things, but got tired of being on the road, and he created In the Kitchen with Bob. So my daughter got me hooked on Instagram, and of course, what do? You start looking up people. I ran across Bob, said, what is he doing? Made a trip to Charleston, came back, told my husband, this is what I want to do, teach cooking classes here in Franklin, Tennessee.
So you have people come in and learn as a corporate event?
So we do corporate events, we do private cooking lessons, we do bachelorette parties, we do couples nights, we do just guys nights, girls nights, and we teach several different kind of cooking classes, whatever your desire is to learn.
Do you ever do private dinners?
We do private dinners, and a lot of times when I do a private dinner, I'm doing most of the cooking. Everybody's just drinking and having fun. Look how fast you can peel an apple. So it was $19. They're probably more like $25 now. But this is good if you're going to make lots of apple pies or, you know, apple desserts or even this. The only thing you have to watch out is just for that blade if you have the kids. And this just pulls straight back. So it's, as long as you're careful, you're not going to hurt yourself. We'll core these out. Get a little cutting board and a knife. This is just, you just kind of wiggle it back and forth. You can get this at any baking supply place or cooking space, and you got your little apple poured out.
Oh, that's awesome. All right.
Let's make that stand up straight. You just give it a little wiggle to get it into the apple. Pull it out. You got your cored out hollowed apple now.
That's just great. That's just great.
What we have is melted butter with some cinnamon in here. And we're going to brush our apples with melted butter and cinnamon. Just on the outside. So you're going to give a little sweetness, a little butteriness to our apples.
And I tell everybody, do not scrimp on butter. Make sure
Do
you
not.
use
butter,
real
butter.
Mm-hmm.
Butter, butter, butter. It's better with butter.
I'm an Irish butter fan. I really love Irish butter. And I don't know why it's different, but it is.
It's just because European butters have more fat in them than American butters. Their fat content in Europe is more permissible than our government will allow us to put in. So our butter has extra water in it. So if you're cooking, just reduce your butter and cook out some of the water it's inside the butter. If you have a good quality butter.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's really neat to know. Oh my gosh. They look delicious just like they are, and they haven't even been cooked yet.
But our little pastry bag is this disposable one, and you can get this at any craft supply store or cake supply store. And we have a tip like we're going to make for our cupcakes, and we're going to fill up each apple with our beautiful cinnamon and sweet potatoes.
Did you bake these?
So we bake the sweet potatoes in the oven, about 375 for about 45 minutes. And then I just took them out of their skins and put about a tablespoon of butter and about a tablespoon of cinnamon in here. So keeping the flavors very simple. If you want not so much sweetness, you can start off with 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt to make it a little bit more savory and cut some of the sweetness out of your sweet potato.
I love it. I love it. I love sweet and salty.
Sweet and salty together is so good. So this is what our sweet potatoes, we're gonna start right down in the center and we're gonna swirl them right around the top like this.
Oh, this is great. Oh my gosh, kids will actually
Kids are gonna have
eat.
fun. This looks like a cupcake, like you're almost eating a cupcake. Is this it? Is it savory or is it sweet?
Fantastic.
Couple more to go.
Kind of like icing a cake.
It's like icing a cake. So simple. Everybody can do this. Everybody can get their own little apple and create their own little apple side dish or dessert, whichever you want to call it.
This will absolutely be so pretty on a plate.
This will be so beautiful if you're doing a ham for the holidays. This will be perfect match. The sweet potatoes with the little Honey Crisp apples go gorgeous alongside your honey baked ham or whatever kind of ham you bake. And it is savory and sweet, and everybody should enjoy it.
Oh my gosh, look at this, you guys.
Now you can also put another surprise in. You can put a little marshmallow inside too.
I love it. I bet a little sprinkle of pecans.
You could put pecans.
Roasted pecans.
Just be careful for nut allergies.
Yep.
But sweet candy pecans on top, just crunched up. If you like I said, a little bit more savory, you could put a little fresh parsley on top just to break up the colors of the whiteness of the apples, and the orange of the sweet potatoes will be beautiful on your plate.
Ooh, I bet the Bahamian way, I put a little coconut on top.
A little bit of coconut too. So you can go you can do cranberry on the side with this as well. So there's so many flavors you can do. If you want to make it a little bit more savory, you can crunch up some rosemary and put on top if you don't want parsley. So it is so many flavors that you can create. It's just never ending.
Oh, I love it. I just love how cute they are. And I guarantee you, when someone is served sweet potatoes like this, it's not the same old, it's not grandma's old sweet potato.
On the side. And you just bake these in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. Just get them nice and warm. Don't overcook them because your apples will go flat. Just get them nice and warm as you serve them on the plate, and as soon as the plate's ready to go on the table.
About 325?
About 325 to 350.
Yes. I love it. About how many minutes?
About 20 to 25 minutes. You're just going to basically warm them up because your apples are, basically cooked. You're just going to make them tender, and you're just going to warm up the sweet potatoes on the inside.
I'm Dalton Quigley, and today I'm going to show you 3 landscape design principles that will kick your landscape game up a notch. Landscape design principle number 1. So here I have a landscape design that I recently completed, and what you see here are a bunch of little black lines. The way that I came up with where to put those lines, remember this is landscape design principle number 1, is you start off with your home created in the computer or on a plot or a sketch, and then you're going to make lines. So if you have it in a 3D program, it makes it much easier because things can be to scale. And if I hit the perspective and back out of the design, what you'll see is a completed design. But where did I get those lines from? I got those lines because I made one line come off the corner of the building. Every time there's a window, I made a line. Every time that there's an angle anywhere. So first I start off with straight lines coming off of the deck, off of the windows, off of this little crook in the house, if you can see it right there. There's a line coming off there. Some lines are more prominent than others, but for right now, let's just cover the idea of a concept of line. So once I drew my black lines this way, then I already knew the client wanted the deck to go out this far. So that was one thing that was covered. I did lines off of absolutely everything. Then I took the entire yard and I divided it by thirds. I made these dashed lines. This makes the yard break up into separate 1/3 segments. In your mind's eye, you expect something to be there. So that's how I use lines. And so as you're doing your design at home or for a client, you want to use those lines to help you line up where all of the different objects are going to be in the design. Now we're ready for design principle numero 2. Let's take a look at the computer. So another principle that I use is called using conical plants. Conical means cone or cone shaped. I have this little cone as an example. So you see how that's sort of Christmas tree shaped? That's what you're looking for to put in certain places in the landscape to make the whole landscape tie together and make sense. It's one of the principles that help you tie the landscape together. Conical plants. Here's a conical plant and here's a conical plant. They're not just randomly placed anywhere. They're placed at corners. Wherever there's a prominent corner or an entryway, that's where you want to use conical plants. In many pleasing spaces that we've all been in, this principle has been used. Okay, so now we're ready for design principle numero 3, and that's groupings. Wherever you have a large open space, it's very wise to use groupings, and people expect it. Here we've got white blooming encore azaleas, and these azaleas are going to be used again and again. The whole space ties together. If all of the corners, all the prominent corners have the tall conical plants, and all of the open spaces have similar plantings overall, then you're going to be using the principle of groupings to create a lot of rich interest. This design also, we've got rhododendrons grouped across the back, we have sky pencils grouped together here, and then also we have grasses in a grouping. Over on the other side, we also used rhododendrons again, and that ties the whole space together. So that's groupings.
I think to see a 10-year-old kid or a young horse develop into a national level competitor, that really lights me up. Good girl. You survived that turn pretty well. I grew up in Connecticut, a horse crazy kid who did not have a horse, and when my family moved to a more rural area when I was 13, we were able to get a horse. I knew nothing about horses, shouldn't have had one, but found the local 4-H club and finished my youth years in 4-H. All right, just tip these over a little bit so the dirt comes off. Taught at the 4-H camps in Connecticut, taught at the University of Connecticut, and moved to Tennessee, where I found the teaching job at Middle Tennessee State University in the horse program. And that's been the focus of my life since then, is teaching kids and horses. When I was in college, I was on the very first all-girl horse judging team. And that was quite the buzz at the time, because judging in agriculture was a much stronger male-dominated area. The horse world in particular has become much more female-oriented. There is something about a 12-year-old girl and a horse that is a very powerful attraction and really brings a lot of kids to this. You know, we talk about STEM for the girls. Let the girls learn the sciences. And horses are the perfect entry into science and technology, and let them know they can major in those things in college and they can become successful in those areas. It's been a work of great energy, great effort, and great results to watch the kids grow up from being 10 years old in the 4-H program to being 18 years old in the college agriculture program, and then go on to be adults and contribute back to Tennessee agriculture has been really the most rewarding part of my life.
Nestled in Nashville along the Cumberland River, Green Door Gourmet is a 350-acre organic farm, agritourism operation, and on-farm store. Green Door Gourmet grows a wide variety of fruits, flowers, vegetables, and herbs using holistic organic methods.
providing our customers, including local restaurants and florists, with the absolute best direct from the field produce. Enjoy seasonal cut farm flower bouquets all summer long with our Green Door Gourmet Flower CSA. Farm field trips are offered March through October, as well as seasonal cooking classes and on-farm events such as our annual Fall Fest. Our on-farm store features Green Door Gourmet produce as well as products from our farm partners, the area's best local producers, including grass-fed meats, honey, jam, dairy, baked goods, and much more. Our local farm box program allows customers to take home a box with a variety of produce options based on what is growing at Green Door Gourmet. Join us in the spring for the You Pick Strawberry season. Our Countrypolitan White Oak Community Center is the perfect setting for weddings, meetings, farm-to-table and corporate events, and social occasions. Come visit Green Door Gourmet, just minutes from downtown Nashville.
We're here at George Plaster at this amazing George Plaster and Friends bowling night.
Yeah, whatever it is. So what we're doing right now, we've got 30 underprivileged kids from the Martha O'Brien Center out here to bowl. At 6 o'clock tonight, we'll have 2 shifts, a 6 to 8 p.m. and an 8 to 10 of foursomes that are paired with a sports celebrity in the area. The proceeds go to Last Minute Toy Store, the Martha O'Brien Center, and STARS, which is Students Taking a Right Stand, drug and alcohol prevention. So feel really good about what's going on. These kids are having a blast, and we're going to turn over some good money.
I love it, George. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Some of the celebrities that you have that'll be involved in this later.
Well, the tallest one will be Will Perdue. He'll bring his 7-foot frame in here. He lives in Louisville, and Will's been nice enough to come for a couple of years. Sorry about that. I'm trying to think. You got a lot of the sports writer and sportscaster people in the area, a lot of coaches. We've got a good group. They know how to have fun.
My future restaurant is looking like chandeliers on top of the ceilings, booth tables, me cooking in front of people. This isn't my dream. This is my life, and I'm going to make something of it for me and my son.
My name is Raven Starks. I am a family coach at the Martha O'Brien Center under the Family Success Network, helping families to succeed in whatever it is that they want to do and whatever it is they want to achieve.
Miss Raven seen that I was trying to get myself together and that I had goals that I wanted to accomplish for me and my son.
So something that we like to do here at the Martha O'Brien Center is something called a do with philosophy. We like the client to be like the head of the table. Case management is like, I'm telling you what to do, I'm telling you where to go, this is where you're going. And that doesn't really feel empowering to the person. It kind of feels like belittling, as if we're treating adults like children.
What I've learned over the years as a physician is that the dictation to a patient sitting in the office of what to do just doesn't work. And what does work is to involve them and learn what their expectations are and let them make the decisions of what they want to do.
When Deanna first came to the Martha O'Brien Center, she was telling me how she went to a school and she thought she had obtained her high school diploma, but come to find out it wasn't accredited.
She said, I have to get my GED, so that's how the Martha O'Brien came about.
We started talking about her goals. She told me that she was very interested in becoming a chef and going to culinary school.
Aiden, would you like to help me throw them in the pot?
So I was really inspired by that because it was like she has a goal of continuing her education and making a career and possibly a business for herself too.
Whoa! She asked me if I need anything for the house. She was kind enough to give me some brand new kitchen utensils, and I said, yeah, this helps.
It was just barrier after barrier, but we finally crossed all of those barriers.
As far as my GED, trying to finish with that so that I can move on to Nashville State to go to the Rayburn Institute.
It's not just getting a job. It's not just putting food on the table. It's not just a roof over the head. But Martha O'Brien does all of that and looks at the individual in a holistic way, as a whole person. And that is what we know works.
Mama, I'm gonna cook. Look, it's cool.
Financially, right now, it's tough. It's hard right now. I keep Aiden positive by not allowing him to do the things that he sees. Just because we live in this environment doesn't mean we have to adapt to it in any kind of way. I look at it as my stepping stone.
The clients that we serve, a lot of the times when they come into the Martha O'Brien Center, they kind of feel as though they're hopeless and they don't know how to get out of this situation, as if it's a never-ending cycle. And so we always want to push our clients to do more and to be greater and to have a career and something that will last. And that's something that they want to do anyway.
You have to just go for it and go for what you ask for. Go for your dreams, your goals, and don't stop until you've gotten to where you want to be in life. That's at the top.
They're going to be chefs. They're going to be business owners in Nashville. They're going to be people who has a story to tell and something that's very important and passionate to them.
I think people should invest in me because, like I said, I'm dedicated. I'm hardworking. When I'm setting out to do something, I don't give up until it's finished. I think I have a lot to offer.
Martha O'Brien measures everything that they do and celebrates and continues to invest in what is working in terms of lifting people up to live better lives, more fulfilling lives. And that's what provides this sort of substance of being a great institution that's important to the overall well-being of Nashville, to Middle Tennessee, and indeed to the country as they look at Martha O'Brien as a model.
Martha O'Brien's innovative Family Success Network empowers clients through adult education and college access, career discernment and placement, entrepreneurial training, financial coaching, child care and preschool services, and family and mental health counseling. The Martha O'Brien Center is one of only 5 nonprofits selected nationally by the Kresge Foundation as Next Generation Leading Edge organizations. For every $1 donated to the Martha O'Brien Center, Nashville receives $13 back in taxpayer savings and direct support.
I will be blessed with having my own restaurant with a lot of people and great food. Great food and great vibes, positive vibes.
We're from Don Miguel Juicery and Rustic Kitchen. We specialize in fresh juices, smoothies, acai bowls from Brazil, and we also have some food, burrito wraps, breakfast, and beautiful lunch.
And tell me, now who's this with you?
This is our new addition. It's going to be our Pawn Stars Bakery. It's a Mexican bakery, and this is Amanda showing you there.
Amanda, these are, look at these. These are beautiful. Oh my gosh. Did you do these?
Yes, so we're doing the conchitas, the sweet and sour bread. We have a muffin too with cheese filling and pineapple filling too. And we have different bacon.
Oh my goodness. And what kind of juice is this over here?
This is going to be our vampire. It's a beet, ginger, carrot, orange, and a little bit of celery. Really, really good for you. You don't get a lot of iron in your diet unless you like liver or something like that. So
it's amazing, and it's great for your heart.
Really good.
It's not a lot of people like beets,
Yeah.
And you make it, and I'm going to tell you, this green juice is amazing. It is so good. So there are wraps and bowls and salads and smoothies and juices. And where are you located?
115 Washington Ferry Road, where Black Press Coffee is, Eating Thai, El Trompo Taco Shop, Moors. That's all of us there. We recommend you.
And how long have you been in Henderson?
This is our third year. Third year running now.
Now, where are you from?
I'm from Tijuana, Mexico.
From Tijuana. How long have you been in the States?
Since 1996. I came to San Diego and went to college in San Diego. And then my wife, when we were dating, her parents moved here from San Diego, and love followed. So,
love followed. I love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
There's all sorts of fancy ways to cut an apple. I bought a little apple core that you slide down and you got all these. I made it really easy to make this my dessert.
Great.
Isn't that good?
Very good.
Yeah, but I have a tendency to want to make it into a fried pie. But we won't talk about that on this show because we're done. We're basically done. Thank you to Amber Falls Winery, and thank you, Sylvia.
It's always a pleasure. My joy to be with you.
I love it here at Green Door Gourmet. Doesn't it feel like home? Hey, if you're looking for a blessing, you gotta first
Be one.